Okay. Very good evening, friends. I welcome each one of you to this wonderful CYRUNS Endurance Talk Show. And today it's been a real honor for us to have Michelle Kakade ji with us. First of all, let me apologize for a little bit delay because of some technical issues. We are just trying to sort it out, and now everything is sorted out. And now I am very honored to welcome Michelle Kakade ji for today's session. So I welcome ma'am to you.
Good evening, Rahul. It's a pleasure to be here on your show.
Yeah.
And I hope all the viewers will have a wonderful session along with us.
Yeah. So thank you very much. And let me just tell all the viewers, Michelle ji has done something really amazing as a runner, and she is a lot of inspiration to all the women. And being a woman, she has been able to break the myth ki what women can achieve, and she has shown the way. She has shown the way to us, and today we are going to discuss about it. Today we are going to learn and see what she has done, and what stories, beautiful stories, we'll have today to hear from you. So, Michelle ji, one and all the viewers, let me tell you one more connection. She is from Bhopal, born in Bhopal, brought up in Nainital, but I am also born from Bhopal, so we have a lot of common connection on that part. So, so, so welcome to another Bhopali from one Bhopali. Okay.
Thank
So,
you, Rahul.
so ma'am, for our viewers, Michelle Kakade, how was you in terms, like, when you say your achievement? You have done 4 deserts marathon, you have done golden quadrangle. So we will come to that and we will learn all about that. But first of all, take our viewers about your childhood. How was your childhood? Was the running there in your childhood, or you were sporty from the childhood, or how was it?
See, Rahul, normally what happens back in school, sports is pretty mandatory.
Mhm.
You have your various games which you need to take part in. uh, and it's more like a compulsion. I don't think you're really do something which you really like. They're just like a lot of sports. For example, like when I was back in school, my sister was very good in baseball,
Mhm.
and my elder sister.
Mhm.
And so basically, it was just assumed that because she was good in baseball, I would also be good at baseball. And honestly, that was really not my strong point. And I didn't enjoy the game, to be honest. But I just played it because I was part of the team, but not something that I really enjoyed. So I didn't really pursue that later once I left school.
Mhm.
So similarly, I think a lot of people, back in school, you're not really put into, events which you really enjoy doing. And I think that's why people lose interest and then don't follow it up later on.
Mhm. So that's wonderful point which you have raised. Sometimes parents say, okay, go and play tennis or do
Exactly.
this or that. So as all the viewers, as a parents, we need to be a very much aware that what our kids interest is in, and
Exactly.
which particular sports. Now fortunately, now this time there are a lot of coaches and academies which are available, who can just look into your child and see that where
The
the strength of the
potential.
child rise,
Exactly.
potential rise. So that's very nice. So how did this running happen to you, when you were not so sporty kind into school? So how does this running happen to you? When, which year, and how does it happen?
So actually, running happened to me by, I should say, luck and good fortune.
Mhm.
Uh, I was always, I wouldn't say I was always an outdoor person. I didn't follow any particular sport, but I liked being outdoors. I liked being fit. I liked working out. Not particularly running, but I used to be very active. Actually, I'm a member of the Pune club, and every 26th January they have an event over there where you have like it's a a walkathon. You could call it a walkathon,
Mhm.
where there are many participants, and it's a very fun event.
Mhm.
And a friend of mine convinced me to take part, and so I took part in that, just like for a fun experience. And while participating, like among the ladies, I was placed. I was ranked first,
Mhm.
and like even among the men who were considered very fit and very active and sporty, I beat a lot of the men also. um, so that was like a wake up call, and I was like, oh, I'm like quite good at this, and I enjoyed the whole experience also.
Mhm.
So I said, okay, let me take this further and see how well I can do. So this was in it'll be really funny. I mean, not exactly funny, but I would say that probably I'm one of the first women in India. Like, I'm not talking about people like expats, but I'm talking about an Indian living in India.
Mhm.
So I ran my first marathon, I think a half marathon in Pune way back in 2004.
Oh,
Yeah. So
wow.
that long back, yeah, yeah,
Wonderful. So
yeah.
that's pretty interesting. So from the walkathon, and how much kilometer was that walkathon in Pune? And after that, when you
Probably was about 15 kilometers, 13 to 15 kilometers. I'm not exactly sure.
okay.
Um, yeah, so the Pune Club, the track is about, yeah, so because it was, 26 January, so I think it was about that much. I'm not exactly sure about the this thing, but I think about 13 to 15 kilometers. But
Wow, wonderful. So just a 13-kilometer turned into thousands of kilometer over a period of your journey to uh, desert marathons as well as the Golden Quadrilateral, right?
yes,
So that's very very funny. Very very interesting to note that how just one particular incidence makes you believe in terms of yeah, okay, I'm good at it. Let me just push it more, and
yes.
then that keeps on adding up. Wonderful, very very nice, very nice. So how does this once you did in 2004, you did first half marathon in Pune, and
Yes.
after that, how this long and long runnings, how did you conceive now I have to go longer distances?
So basically, I started doing the half marathon in Pune every year after 2004. And then the Mumbai Marathon, like I wanted to do a longer distance. Unfortunately, in Pune, the women are not allowed to take part in the full marathon. It's only for the men.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so then, to take part in the full marathon, I, then decided that I should go to Bombay and participate. At that time, it was called the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon.
Mm-hmm.
I started participating over there from 2007 onwards in the full marathon in Mumbai.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it so happened that in the holding area before the start of the marathon, I was over there, and I'm quite a curious person, and I saw this one lady who was, she was wearing this very heavy backpack. She was a foreigner,
Mm-hmm.
and I started talking to her, and I just asked her. I said, why are you wearing this backpack? And because she's like, no, I'm actually practicing for a ultra marathon. And then she spoke to me about my first ultra marathon, which I did in 2010. It's called the Marathon des Sables.
Mm-hmm.
So that's in the Sahara Desert in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And then she spoke to me about the format of the race, that you need to it's a self-supported race over 250 kilometers through the desert, in which every athlete needs to carry whatever they need for their survival, their food, their sleeping bag, etc., water, whatever stuff like that. And the concept really appealed to me. And as I said, I like, from a half marathon, I progressed to a full marathon. And I was always looking to push my boundaries. So when she mentioned that it was a distance of 250 kilometers, like a trail kind of a thing, I was very interested in the concept. So I came back. When I came back to Pune, I went online and I kind of, started researching about the event. And so I thought, okay, like, this is something which I would like to do. And but like I always think, there are many things, we have in mind, we plan, we want to do, but we just find reasons and excuses, that, oh, we can't do this now because the kids are small, or my family, there's some issues. So we always keep delaying things and putting things behind us, that and finding reasons not to do stuff. And so what happened with me, it's a sad episode, but a very, very close friend and a relative of mine, we were all sitting one evening, and at the club, and he just said bye to us because he needed to go to some other function. And he goes down into the car park, and he had a massive heart attack and passed away at the age of 42. Yeah. So, that was kind of like a wake up call to me, because I just felt to myself, uh, you know, we never know what the future holds for us. We never know, what's going to happen tomorrow. So we need to grasp every moment and live it, to the maximum. And this episode happened in August, and I signed on for the 2010 episode, to run the Marathon des Sables uh, in 2010. So in September, I signed on. I registered and I signed on to run the next year in 2010, for the Marathon des Sables. So that was my first ultra event in 2010.
So it's a very sad incidents which you shared, but definitely it sometimes all these kinds of an incidents in our life makes us wake from the slumber and put us onto the right path, and which has happened in your case. And that's how these ultra marathons has been started. And
Yes.
all the viewers, let me tell you, sometimes we keep on procrastinating, we will do it sometime later in the life, or there is no later. If
There's
you want, if you want to do it, you do it. And that's what we now learning from Michelle ji, that she has an experience and she's sharing such a wonderful experience. And it's for all of us. Lot of time in our life we think, अरे यार इसको बाद में कर लेंगे, yeah, we will do it sometime later. But there is there is no tomorrow actually.
no tomorrow. There's no tomorrow. You have to live in today
Correct,
and
correct.
take now.
Okay, so that's very nice to learn from you. Now, from August when you signed, what did you do for Marathon Days Lab, and what are the things? How did you train for that? And I think there are very few Indians who have done this. I know only three, four of Indians who have done this, and you are one of them. We are so lucky to hear from you. So, and that too, you have done 2010. That year, running is still at a very nascent stages in India. In fact, from 2004, the Mumbai Marathon, Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon started, and that's how the ecosystem of running get developed. And you were at a very, very early stages, and you are the first Indian women to, go there and run. So how was it? How did you prepare, and how was your experience as Marathon DCLM?
So I honestly, Rahul, like as I said, back in 2010, there was really no literature, there was no coaching, there was no, even where regarding the equipment was concerned. It was very difficult, to procure all the things that I needed, which I needed to, carry along with me. And mainly was the training, because I think nobody had even heard of this events like this in India.
Mm-hmm.
People were still doing, your city runs.
Correct.
And basically, when you're doing like a standard chartered marathon, it's the race organizers, they handle all your hydration needs, your medical, it's on the road, everything is very accessible, so but this was an entirely different scenario altogether. So basically, like I started reading up a lot on the net, different people's training regimes, and trying to prepare myself. So firstly, I needed to be able to tackle the heat, because obviously it's in the desert. So I needed to be prepared, to handle temperatures which could touch up to 50 degrees also. And then the night temperatures go very, very low,
Mhm.
you know. I needed to be, prepared for that kind of situations. I needed to be prepared to carry a backpack, weighing about 12 to 15 kilos, because you needed to carry all your equipment, your food and stuff like that. So basically, what I started doing is I would carry a backpack. I would load it with books and, make it that kind of weight. And I started running with that and training with that, to be able to, carry that kind of weight and, be comfortable, moving with that kind of weight all the time. And basically, it was just putting in a lot of mileage, putting in a lot of kilometers. So every day I would, put in about 6 to 7 hours of practice,
Mhm.
and yeah, uh, because I didn't know, how to go about it. It was just, trial and error. Ki, acha, I'll do this, I'll do that. In fact, many people who would see me would think, this woman has totally gone mad, suddenly at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, whenever you see her, she's just, on the road, roaming with a backpack. And, people would look at me like, what is this strange person doing up to, kind of thing. Um, but still, I feel my training because as I said, I had never experienced something like this. So when I actually went there, it was a total eye opener for me, because the first day when the race started, everything, the josh is there. You're very excited. You're meeting, thousands of people from all over the world, and you're representing your country. And since I was the first Indian at this event, I was given a lot of respect, a lot of encouragement. People were, ready to help me at any point of time. So all that was really good. But then when the race actually started, day one, they kind of start you very slow. It's, you do a distance of about maybe 25 to 28 kilometers.
Mhm.
Um, that was, and you're still, the enthu is there. You're still, all pumped up and excited. So first day went off very, I would say, smoothly.
Mhm.
But after that, especially, we have what they call the long stage in these, 250-kilometer multi-day events. So you have what they call the long stage, which is normally on day four, and it goes into day five. So on those days, you cover a mileage of anywhere between 78 to 80 plus kilometers, depending on the course that they have set, the race organizers. And, that is the most exhausting experience, because you're out in the desert in the middle of the night. There's no landmarks, there's at times when you're running by yourself, you actually feel like you're the only person on this earth,
Mhm.
because for miles you don't see anybody or anything. And it's really scary also, because the wind is howling, you're crossing sand dunes, which are like monstrous in height. So it's a very unnerving experience. And, you have your checkpoints, you have your cutoffs, like after every maybe 10 to 12 kilometers, depending on the course, they would have a checkpoint. And you would need to make the checkpoint in a set amount of time. It was not that, okay, theek hai, you start the race and, you can keep just doing what you want. You had to make those cutoff times. So, there was always that fear that what if I don't reach the cutoff, then I'm going to be disqualified. And we had a, like, if you were in emergency, and you were in some kind of a problem, you had what they call an emergency flare. But the unfortunate thing is, once you release the flare and ask for assistance, then you were disqualified from the race. And in my for me, that I needed to make one checkpoint at around 12 midnight, and I was terribly lost. I was terribly lost, and I was like, I just felt that I'm moving in circles and I'm coming back to the same point. And I just had lost my bearings, and I didn't know, what to do. And I was reaching that point where I thought, I should, because in any case, I was not going to make the checkpoint in time, I felt. So I said, let me just, release the flare and, seek for help. And I would say my good fortune or luck or whatever, another runner passed by me, and I was so happy to see that person.
Mm-hmm.
And and in circumstances like this, somebody's presence, it calms you down. It makes you see things more clearly. And sometimes two heads are better than one. So we kind of pooled our resources together, and we thought, okay, now we need to make this checkpoint by 12 midnight. So let's join up together. And we actually managed to reach it.
Wow.
So I'm really happy because like, I think the most, and it's happened with me in one of the Mumbai marathons. The worst feeling for any runner, and I'm sure any runner can appreciate that, is a DNF. It's the most horrible feeling when you cannot finish the race. Even if you manage to cross the finish line last also, but you still feel that sense of achievement if you complete the race rather than having a DNF, status. And it's happened with me in Mumbai Marathon. I've had one DNF in the Mumbai Marathon, and till today it bothers me a lot. Very, very bad about it, because I always, at that time, I was having very bad cramps, and I was in a very bad condition.
Mm-hmm.
But then later on, I just feel and I think I quit when I was at 32 or 35 kilometers, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel till today, that really pinches me. I feel, अरे यार, थोड़ा, सहन कर लेते थे तो निकल जाता था, like, we would manage.
It is so pleasant to hear you. You are such an ultra runner and been there in the marathon de celeb, and still, that DNF part, and it's very natural. All the viewers who are listening to this need to learn from this. Yeah, DNF hurts any runner. Every runners get hurt by the DNF whenever
God.
that happens. But at the same point of time, that's how the life is, right?
That
And
is
right, so there
success
are
and failure. Success and failure go hand in hand.
hand in hand. Uh,
And
so
I
so
always tell myself, even Sachin Tendulkar at days gets out on a duck, and
yeah.
at times he goes on to get many centuries.
Yes.
So हम तो बहुत छोटी चीज है, like,
Right. Nahi, nahi. So it was so nice to hear about your story that you were just about to release the flare, and then somebody comes and then you tied up. And I can relate it fully, because in some of the ultra marathons, I also faced a similar kind of a situation. When we have two people, it becomes more easier, and then you do that. So how was your experience when you finished this entire race? What was your experience, and what was your feeling? We want to hear that.
So yeah, so when I finished the race, we were in some like a place called in one very remote village in Morocco.
Mm.
We have the largest sand dunes in entire Africa. They are known as the Mazuga dunes.
Mhm.
Okay, so the race finishes over there, and of course, there was because this particular event, it's the oldest ultra marathon in the history of ultra marathons.
Mhm.
Like when I ran it, we were celebrating 25 years.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that was in 2010.
Mhm.
Okay, so there was a lot of media presence over there, and so in fact, when I crossed the finish line, it was so proud, having the flag of India with me, and everyone, congratulating me and stuff like that. And of course, I had one reporter.
Mm.
coming and asking me, okay, so when are you going to do this again?
Mm.
And I was like, I said, are you kidding? I am not crazy. There's no way that I am going to sign up for an event like this ever.
Mm.
And so, but the next year I did 3 events like this. I started my four desert journey
Mm.
in 2011,
Yeah.
which was just 1 year later.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's so nice, and that's what I always say. For any runner or ultra marathoner like you, the finish line of one marathon is the starting line for the next marathon, and that's how it happens.
Yeah. So it's a funny thing. So again, the four desert journey started because of my interaction with a runner during the marathon desert.
Okay.
Because when you're running in the desert, one of the mandatory equipment that you need to carry with you are what they call gaiters.
Hmm.
So gaiters basically you wear over your running shoes to prevent the sand from coming into your shoes. So it so happened that I saw one of the runners. He had on a pair of gaiters on which was written four deserts.
Hmm.
And so I asked him, I said, okay, so what are the four deserts? And so then he explained to me about the four desert, the series, which is the hottest, the coldest, the driest, and the windiest deserts in the world. And he told me about this, and so that's how I basically came to know about the four deserts. And then in 2011, I started my four desert journey. Like, yeah.
So which was your first desert?
So the first one I did was in 2011, was in the month of March, April. That was the Atacama Desert. So that is basically the driest desert in the world, and plus it's a high altitude desert.
Mhm.
So yeah, so that was the first one, and
So
then I.
how was your experience in Atacama? We would like to hear that. Mhm. So.
So the Atacama Desert, basically, it was very different because, like being a high altitude desert, the it was not that hot like how the Sahara Desert was like really really hot. But in the Atacama Desert, in fact, there were times when it was like temperatures were even plummeting below 0 degrees. So that factor, like basically, I'm from Pune and I'm not really used to very cold weather. So that did impact me a fair bit. And secondly, over there, like the course, we had what we call river crossing.
Mhm.
So there was one stage in which basically we were in a river which had the snow melt basically from so the water was freezing cold, and we needed to traverse, like not continuously in the river, but in and out of the river, like almost 12 kilometers through that river. Basically, it was a canyon and a river in between, and we needed to keep going in and out of the river,
Mhm.
to clear that particular section. And in fact, I'm very scared of water. I don't know swimming, and I'm very very scared of water. And in one part of the so one thing which has been really wonderful during my ultra running journey is the kind of people that I've met. Because what I find in ultra runners, people are very very supportive of each other. you know you'll always find somebody when you're at your weakest point, when you want to just quit and you say, I can't take this, I can't do this anymore. You'll always have somebody who will come there to help you and push you that extra mile, and get you across that period where you are really feeling very very low and very exhausted. So in this particular case also, I had a moment where I was I fell in the river, and there were like very slippery boulders, and I cut my leg. And but because the water was so cold, I didn't realize that I was bleeding quite badly. And because it kind of numbed the whole area. And but I was like getting very very nervous because like as I said, I'm really very scared of water. So over there also I had a person who came across my situation, and he uh, he helped me through that entire stage, and made me reach the finish to that particular checkpoint where I got some medical attention for my cut and all that stuff. And but the unfortunate thing is that that particular gentleman, he not on that particular day, but a little later in the race, he quit. He dropped out of the race for whatever medical reasons or something like that. So that was, but the scenic beauty, of the Atacama Desert, it's phenomenal, because you have, you're surrounded by kind of like extinct volcanoes, and it's a very beautiful. They say that the surface over there is a lot like. In fact, NASA tests a lot of their vehicles over there, because they say the surface is like Mars, very similar to what Mars is uh, supposed to be.
Okay.
So they do a lot of their testing over there in the Atacama Desert, and because being high altitude, the sky and the stars in the night, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful because
I
it's
can
so, yeah, it's so
I
clear.
can
And
just imagine. I can just imagine through your words. It's so beautiful.
yeah.
And so, how many kilometers was the Atacama run total?
So that was also, see, all my 4 desert events, they were all multi-day, 250 kilometer.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
so nice. So, what was the next desert? We would love to hear that.
Then I did the Gobi in June. I did the Gobi Desert in China.
Yeah.
So for me, if you were to ask me, out of the 4 deserts, which was the toughest,
Hmm.
I would say hands down the Gobi Desert,
Uh-huh.
because the Gobi Desert, during the course of the race, we experienced every possible type of climate
Mm-hmm.
that we could experience in a matter of 6 days.
Mm-hmm.
We were hit by a sandstorm.
Mm-hmm.
We had torrential rain for 24 hours, where visibility was like down to zero. In fact, they needed to, stop the like, as in they reduced for that particular day. They reduced the course length, because there was like, it would be dangerous for the runners, in that kind of visibility, to try and attempt, because again, it's very mountainous.
Mm-hmm.
You have to cross those mountains with zero visibility, and heavy rain, so it would have been risky. So the organizers had to take a call and reduce the course length. So, and then the day we had the 24-hour rain, the next day we went into temperatures of 52 degrees.
Oh.
So your body was, you took a beating to the extreme, because you're going from very cold climate to exceedingly hot climate. And it was very bad. Like I think most ultra runners have blister issues. So I but my blisters, besides having blisters, they got infected. And so I actually ran, I was actually running in slippers, trying to run in slippers. I wouldn't say I was running in slippers,
Mm-hmm.
but because my feet were so swollen, I could not wear my shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very, very tough for me. Very tough.
Wow.
And the sandstorm, I mean, I just am so thankful that when it hit us, we were all at camp,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I was not out on the course when it hit, because it was so frightening. Even though we were in camp and with so many people over there, but it was so frightening. I mean, I just didn't like. I was just, am I going to see tomorrow or not? Like, it
No,
was
my
kind of sensation. But yeah.
I think. What a lot of emotions, and what a story. It's so interesting. We are doing this CYRUNS Endurance Talk Show, and this is the first time we are hearing such kind of scary stories. But at the same point of time, it's so nice to hear that we have amongst us one who has faced that and come out of that victorious. And definitely. people would like to know more about it, and when you are making people aware about this the four deserts, so more people will join that. So after Gobi, what was the next desert?
Then after that, I did the Sahara,
Mm-hmm.
the Sahara Desert in October.
Okay.
So this time the Sahara, the previous in the marathon Desert, I did the Sahara Desert from Morocco.
Mm.
Uh, and this time when I did the Sahara Desert, we did it from Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
And as so again, nothing really to do with the race.
Mm.
But in 2011, Egypt was they had had a political coup,
Yeah.
and the government was overthrown, and the entire city was, there were many riots happening, and it was in a very bad condition. And I actually experienced, where like the place where I was staying was, just off that Tahrir Square, where all the,
Yeah. Yeah.
protests happened, and many people died over there, and it was very scary because I was on the, like the hotel where I was staying. I think I was on the 22nd or 28th floor, but I actually saw, uh, the police, the riot police, taking their tanks over people, cars being shots getting fired, cars being set ablaze, and it was, very, like, in a sense, I uh, didn't know whether I would be able to get my flight back to India,
Mm-hmm.
because things were, at that kind of a situation over there. But fortunately,
So this
everything
happened after the race or before the race?
just
After the
happened after the race.
after the race.
So what happened is the race got over, and I was there for a day because, being Egypt, and I thought, I would do some sightseeing, and I'd go to see the pyramids. And the beautiful thing is that the race ended at the pyramids of Giza.
Mm.
So, but anyway, like Egypt has a lot of history, so I really did want to go and do some sightseeing and stuff like that.
Mm.
So I had booked my flight, a day later,
Mm-hmm.
to return back. And this all erupted on the 9th of October, which also happens to be my birthday. And, so yeah, so it was really funny because a group of friends were all supposed to come to my hotel, and we were supposed to go out,
Mm.
and celebrate, celebrate my birthday and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that, of course, didn't happen. And yeah, so
Yeah.
it was a very memorable birthday, but not in a nice way, not in a nice
Right, right. We can understand that. And I've been to Egypt once in 2008-9, and
way.
I've
Yeah,
seen it's beautiful city and a lot of historical culture. And
lot of
yeah,
culture.
yeah.
Yeah.
So great. You could. So what kind of an experience? Amazing. And let's come to the last desert, which is the most
Oh,
difficult. So can you tell us about the last desert?
so basically, actually, when I started my four desert journey, the whole idea. So basically, the format of the four desert is, to go to Antarctica, you need to complete at least two of the other deserts
Mm.
before you get an invitation to go to Antarctica. And my idea actually was to do all four in 1 year.
Mm.
But what I miscalculated is that the race in Antarctica doesn't happen every year; it happens every alternate year,
Mm-hmm.
because of ecological reasons. They don't want too many people, in Antarctica. Because of the environment, they want to keep it as pristine and as beautiful as possible. And oh yeah, so that's so going back to the whole this format of the races that we've done, is being made aware of our environment. Like, the race organizers were exceedingly strict, and you would get penalties if you littered, if you left any the basically the course needed to be uh, exactly the way like, as in, there didn't need to be any carbon footprints. You needed to clear each and everything that you took along with you. You were not allowed to leave anything back on the course. And they were very, very particular about it. And if you if you were caught littering or leaving things around or leaving things behind, you were given time penalties, which would be added to your overall race timing. Like if you finished, so depending on the mistake you made, the penalty would be accordingly. Like, so in fact, in the marathon disab, we would be given a certain amount of water, which would have to last you. Like supposing if we had a checkpoint, we were given, the race organizers would give us water, and that water would have to last us till the next checkpoint. If in between you needed extra water, they would provide it to you, but you would need to take a time penalty. So they were very, very particular about that. And there was a period where I thought I was being smart, because obviously water does, it's a bit of weight, extra weight to carry. And I thought to myself that, okay, like I can manage in this much, and I don't want to carry extra because it's going to be that much more weight to carry. So let me just go ahead and not take the water at the checkpoint. And like I realized my mistake halfway through, before I reached the other checkpoint, that I was, I needed the water. I just needed the water. So I was like, okay, I mean, uh, like I have to take the penalty. Like, because I need the water. So it's just as simple as that. So, so these kind of things, you're made very aware of your environment. You're taught to respect nature, and you don't take nature for granted, basically. You
Wonderful.
know, I think human beings, we have totally ruined our planet.
Mhm.
You know, we pollute everything, right
Mm.
from our rivers. We cut down trees. We have no respect for our environment. So that is one thing which is ingrained in you. That even like, I mean, even when we go to the, to the washroom, we just put on the tap. We don't think how much water we are wasting. You know, it's only when that water rationing is there during the course, then you realize, what an extremely precious commodity, water is, and
Exactly.
appreciate each and every drop that you have with you.
So there are very few people who have been to Antarctica, and you have been fortunate to be there. So, what is your message in terms of when you have been there? So, what is your message, and what are your feelings? If you can elaborate a little on that.
So Antarctica basically, for me, was firstly it, I can't tell you, the only colors that you see over there are white and gray, and uh, shades of blue. These are the only colors you see over there, basically.
Mhm.
And it's kind of very awe-inspiring, especially when you see your first iceberg. When you see, we've seen things like penguins and whales and sea lions, and we've seen them all in the zoo at some point or the other. But to see these things in their natural habitat, where they're supposed to be and where they should be, it just humbles you. You just feel, you know the creation, like creation is so beautiful. Like, you just feel humbled. You feel very small. You feel very insignificant when you see uh, such raw beauty, basically.
Mhm. So nice to hear that. So wow, wonderful. You have taken us through all the four deserts, and we, as runners, would definitely thank you for that. And let's see who will be the next one to do the four deserts from India. And right,
Someone's
thank you. And so coming to your other experiences, like your treadmill run or your golden quadrilateral.
Yeah.
So how was the idea of golden quadrilateral comes into your mind, and what you did to finish that? Yeah.
Okay, so basically the treadmill, basically the treadmill happened. Just to backtrack a bit, the treadmill happened because, in 2011, I did 250 kilometers back to back, like April, June, and October.
Mm.
And then Antarctica was in 2012, November, December.
Mm.
So that was a really long gap, between a big race. And though I was practicing and all, but I didn't feel that I had that kind of mileage, for as basically as a practice for Antarctica. I wanted to have a long mileage. So then I thought, okay, let's do the treadmill kind of thing. And I love running the treadmill. I mean, I love being on the treadmill.
Wow. So
Yeah,
24, 25 hours.
5 hours. Yeah.
Ah. So the love is so much, that once you goes on the treadmill, you don't sit down.
No, I mean, I've always liked the treadmill. I
Yeah,
like
right. It's nice. It's nice. It's good to.
outdoors. They
Hmm.
don't like the treadmill, but I've got I like the treadmill.
Wow. Thank you. So how does this idea of golden quadrilateral comes into your mind, and who put that idea? You put the idea, or somebody else put the idea?
Mhm. So all these crazy ideas have been mine. Let's be honest. So basically for the 4 deserts and for the treadmill and for the marathon desert. So I had got a Limca record for these events that I've done.
Hmm.
Um, so then I was targeting for a Guinness record. I thought that I wanted to progress a little ahead, and I wanted to do, a Guinness record. And basically, so all my these events which have happened were all out of India. So
So
I just felt that if I want to do a Guinness record, I want India to be the backdrop to my, Guinness record.
yes.
And basically, the Golden Quadrilateral was the most, like a very defining, system of roadway,
Hmm.
which, basically connects, you know, India in entirety, north, south, east, and west. It was, something which connected, all parts of India. So I just, thought of that. So, and I had I had heard about the Kashmir to Kanyakumari run. I think somebody from Delhi had done it. If
Mr.
I'm not,
Arun Bharadwaj from
yeah,
Delhi.
you're right. So he had done that, and so I had heard about him, doing the Kashmir to Kanyakumari and all that stuff. So then I wanted something, similar. Like I wanted a road system,
Hmm.
which again, like as I said, it covers entire India. So that's how
Wow.
I thought of the Golden Path.
So from which city you started your journey for golden quadrilateral and where you ended?
Mumbai, because being from Pune, Mumbai was the obvious choice.
Yeah.
So I started from Mumbai. From Mumbai, I ran to Delhi. From Delhi, I did Kolkata. From Kolkata, I went to Chennai, and Chennai back to Mumbai.
Wow. Wonderful. So 193 days, huh?
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
It would have been less. It
Mm.
would have been much less.
Mm.
But in between, I went to Delhi for the Airtel Delhi Marathon. Then I came
Mhm.
to Bombay for the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. So so then those days also got added. But
Okay.
have been much less. But
Yeah.
I mean, no regrets. I
No,
enjoyed
no,
both.
I understand that because when you were in Ahmedabad, I ran with you, and that was how I got exposed to you. And then it was, a very pretty beginning of my running career. I was just started 1.5 year back, and then I
Nice.
saw you, and it was so inspiring to see, Mahaka, how is this lady, this lady is doing. So there were a lot of questions in my mind at that point of time, and it was so inspiring. I still have that T-shirt,
Oh,
which the running with the Michelle 5K.
that was,
We
yeah,
yeah,
five. Yeah.
5K. So we did that, and it was so nice to meet you. And in the morning we had a breakfast. So it was so wonderful to and that inspiration. At that point of time when you are at the beginning of your running career, you get inspired by the people like you. And so let me just admit to all my viewers, I got inspired by you and your achievements, and try to emulate a few of them. But at
Thank
the same no, no, you are definitely my inspiration in the running. When because early in the my running life, I have seen you, and it's very inspiring, and it's a fortune for me. I'm very fortunate that today I'm speaking to you.
thank
So,
you
yeah, so
so much.
wonderful. Yeah, yeah, I'm honored, man. So this golden quadrilateral, wow, beautiful. And what was the most challenging part you find in the golden quadrilateral? If somebody wants to do it today, what is the most challenging part which you feel that, oh, this is the challenge, or nothing is the challenge, you just have to keep
No,
doing?
it was challenging for sure. I'll be honest with you. The first leg,
Mm,
the Mumbai to Delhi leg, was very challenging for me because I suffered a very severe bronchitis infection,
mm-hmm,
uh, which I was on very high antibiotics during that period, and somehow the medication was just not helping me.
mm-hmm,
And then of course, and then I just decided that how much medicine can I keep taking? It's going to impact me in the long run, and not in a good way. So then I just went on to your what do you say, ghar ke nuske.
yeah.
Yeah, like your haldi doodh, honey with ginger, things like that. And I don't know whether that helped me or then just my body got used to the pollution and I just came out of the whole thing.
Right, right.
But yeah, that period was very tough for me. Um, a second thing which was really, uh, what should I say? I wouldn't say tough, but yeah, you need to be prepared. Is the sense of because you're never in one place for too long. You're
Mm,
just instantly moving, moving, moving. So that sense of like every day of waking up in a different city or
mm,
different town, and that can get a little disturbing because we are so used to our house, our bed, our sofa, our that whole
yeah.
environment. That feeling of stability.
Mm,
That's what I want to use. So वो नहीं रहता है because you every day sometimes in the night you'd get up and अरे where am I, like you'd be confused
mm,
कि where am I kind of thing because every day you were in a new place.
mm,
That did get a little difficult. And secondly, घर का खाना यार, that was difficult. Uh, Eating, because um, the duration that I was away, you can't be that prepared to carry, how many things can you carry with you?
correct, correct,
Uh,
correct.
so I kind of, in fact, that was a learning experience during my practice run for the GQ.
Mm,
I did a Pune to Bombay run as a practice,
mm,
and just to feel what it is to run on the road, and my nutrition and how are we going to manage all that. And so I had my nutritionist, she had recommended to me, to have plums.
mm,
She's saying it's very good. Like it's hydrating, plus it's nutrition, and a lot of good factors to having plums.
mm,
And I don't know. Sometimes it's some silly thing वो आपके दिमाग में आ जाता है, and you just tend to fixate on that.
mm,
And during the practice run, just because she had told me कि आपको plum लेना है, तो my team, I told them I want plums.
mm,
And अभी plum का season नहीं है, तो वो बेचारे वहाँ कहाँ से plum लेके आएंगे?
mm,
That bothered me so much. That
mhm,
bothered me so much कि मुझे plums नहीं मिल रहा है, कि मेरा nutrition नहीं हो रहा है. Like,
mhm,
it was
mhm,
like one big thing.
mhm,
And then I realized that this is ridiculous because I said, I'm going to be running 6,000 kilometers.
mm,
There are going to be many times when I'm not going to get what I want.
mm. True.
And I have to be prepared to make do with whatever I'm getting.
Correct.
So I have to be okay with that.
Mm,
And I have to accept that. Like there are days when if I want to eat dal chawal, I'm not going to get dal chawal. Or there are days when I want to have roti, I'm not going to get roti. I'm going to get dal chawal. So I have to be okay with all, that kind of a scenario. So, so it was definitely the food part of it became difficult. Like during my session down south, I'm not a very big rice person. I mean, I like rice, but it's not the major part of my meal.
Mm.
But over there, like primarily you get rice. Like uh, you just get a lot of rice. So, but yeah, I mean, it was nice. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a learning experience. Like,
I
you
think
know,
a lot of mental strength which is required at such kind of a thing. First of all, thinking 6,000 kilometer of running, then getting yourself ready to do that, creating a resources, getting the resources in place, and then
no,
doing it.
Rahul, over here, I'd like to intercede, especially for any runners, thinking about doing something like this. Um, my sincere
Yeah,
advice, not
please.
because I just think is um, try and get in sponsors.
Hmm.
I mean, I was very fortunate that my husband, he was like this pillar of strength behind me, and he's funded my entire run. All my runs actually have been funded by him. As you know, most ultras, when you go, they are very expensive.
I know, I know.
So he's been this, major support network for me. Um, so I really feel that, try see, because what happened is, even with regard the GQ and all that stuff, um, like there were a lot of things which uh, like I honestly didn't try. Like we did try crowdfunding and all that, but crowdfunding basically in India, uh, people are still very hesitant to come forward and support, because उनको नहीं लगता है कि उनको, like, it's like no पैसा वसूल for them. They feel
Mhm.
कि अरे, वो भाग रही है, उसका ड्रीम है, हम लोग क्यों पैसा दे, like,
Mhm.
it's that
Exactly.
kind of attitude. So people don't really come forward where crowdfunding is concerned for events like this.
Mhm.
So I mean, I feel if you could get some corporate sponsorships, or get part of your gear, because see, like when I was running the GQ, I use the Asics brand,
Mhm.
and like, as you know, you need to keep changing your shoes. Asics is an expensive brand.
Mhm.
Each pair of shoes is over 10K, in 10 to 12K depending. I think it's much more now, but at
Mhm.
that time it used to be about 12 to 15K. And I changed about, like, maybe uh, yeah, 12 pairs of shoes.
Oh my.
Lucky for that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm just giving a small
Correct.
example. I mean,
Correct.
you can imagine the figures, because you got your team, your food, your transportation. It's a pretty
Stay lot of expenses. Yeah.
lot of expenses. And yeah, so definitely I would feel that if anyone does want to go and do something like this, try and get your finances and your sponsorships or whatever figured out. I think, and now as the trend is changing, because people are realizing that running, and it's getting much more popular, and people are getting more visibility. So definitely, I think people would be, more forward to come forward and give you sponsorships and all at this point than when I did the event.
Yeah. So it's really very inspiring to see thinking, getting the resources, self resources, self funded, and doing it. It's
True.
really crazy. Right. So what is the one tip you wanted to give to our viewers for the success? If you just wanted to say one point, this is the success, this is how, what is the one point mantra from Michelle G to all our viewers?
See, I just feel you need to have a little bit of madness in you. You have to have a little bit of madness in you, and you have to believe in yourself. You have to
Wow.
actually believe that yes, I can do this. So I
Wow.
think that is something very, very important. The self belief.
Absolutely.
You have to have self belief.
Super, super. So self belief and थोड़ी सी पागलपंती होनी चाहिए, madness, craziness, and that's what make you do these kinds of a crazy stuff. So that's very nice to hear. So before we end our session today, what are your future plans? Like, what is the next craziness we can hear from Michelle Kakade?
राहुल, I'll be very honest with you. GQ के बाद I think थोड़ा मुझे रनिंग का ओवरडोज हो गया था.
Hmm.
So I had a kind of a burnout.
Hmm.
I'll be honest with you.
Hmm.
It did take a toll on me because whatever said and done, being away from your family, from your environment for 6 months, it's a long time. And
Absolutely.
तो थोड़ा running went on the back burner for me.
Hmm.
In a major way. Like I have not done any major event from after 2016, after I completed my GQ.
Hmm.
So अगर मुझे uh, and of course now with the COVID and the way things have happened this entire year,
Hmm.
तो वो भी I think बहुत it's put a big full stop in a lot of plans.
Yeah.
But see, I need to for the kind of events that I like doing.
Hmm.
I need to actually get back into hardcore training in a major way,
Hmm.
which I have not been doing. So it would be kind of, meaningless to to say
Yeah.
that कि हाँ मुझे ये करना है, मुझे वो करना है. But till I don't feel that I'm physically in that, space, um, I would not like to, comment on this particular
Okay.
that
Okay.
what I'm.
Okay. I got it. But I believe also one more thing is whatever will be the in the future when you will be back to the running and back to this, we will hear one more another crazy story from you, and we'll definitely talk about it. It's so nice, and we are so honored, and thank you very much for being here on our show, Sirens Endurance Talk Show. We are totally honored, and we loved interacting with you, learning so many different aspects. We so many varied variations of the running which you have experienced, and our viewers who are viewing this are very happy to note all those things. So thank you very much for your valuable time and accepting our invitation to be on the show.
Thank you so much, Rahul. It was a pleasure. It was really, really nice. Made me relive a lot of wonderful, wonderful memories.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you very much for sharing. Have a wonderful time. So thank you very much all the viewers. Keep viewing Sirens Endurance Talk Show. Thank you. Bye bye.